All right. And now I'm going to freeze the sphere. So whenever we press the play button, we unfreeze it. So public void unfreeze player sphere. And here, when I want to unfreeze, I have to do something very similar here. So what I'm going to do is take the rigid body of the sphere and say that the body dot gravity scale is equal to the initial gravity. All right, and that would unfreeze it. Unfreeze player sphere, okay? And I'm going to call this whenever we press the play button. Okay, so after we remove the panel, we can unfreeze it. But actually, we don't want to unfreeze it here. We want to unfreeze it whenever we start to press the button. So whenever we want to unfreeze it, whenever we trigger the sphere, which is inside of the player script. Okay, so whenever we click, the first time we click, we unfreeze it. And the first click will be whenever we have the fixed updates and we have the mouse button down. So here we want to unfreeze it. Okay, but we have to see if the game is on, right? So let's figure out if the game is on. So I'm going to remove this. And we need to add to say something like if refs dot game is enabled, game is on. Okay, then here we would unfreeze the sphere. Okay, but before we do so, we need to have the game is on tag, and let's create the game is on tag. And by the way, the unfreeze player sphere is inside of the refs, but I don't have access to the refs. So to get access to the refs, I can just add the manager reference. I actually have it here, so that's perfect. I'm going to do that here, right? And I need to add the game is on. So going back to the manager references, I'm going to add the flag here. So that's public Boolean. Why is it a Boolean? Because it's a true or false. So game is on, and by default it's false. Why? Because at the beginning the game is not on. All right. And whenever we press the play button, we're going to put the game on. So game is on is equal to true. Excellent. Now what we want to do also here is probably we need to display instructions. Okay, so we want to make sure that we need to display the instructions here. All right. Now in the player script, what I want to do here, I want to do if the game is if the game is on, we unfreeze, but we all want to see also what is the gravity, like what is the and the gravity is 0, and so we need to get the gravity of this. So that's body dot gravity scale is equal to 0. Why? Because we don't want to unfreeze something that's already unfrozen. So we want just to check if the gravity scale is 0. All right, so we can save that. Now let's check what we have. I'm going to press play. And now I'm going to press play here. Now I saw something. I saw that at the beginning we never said that the game needs to be frozen. So in the manager reference, we need to freeze the player sphere. So I'm going to take the freeze player sphere and add this inside of the start. All right, I'm calling the player sphere. So whenever the game starts, we freeze the player sphere. All right. Now let's go back, and I'm going to press play. All right, and I see that it's not moving, so that's good. Now if I press play, the sphere will get unfrozen. Now something that I want to do is probably move the play button up so that I can actually see the sphere, because right now we don't even see it. But let's go ahead for now and just press play. All right, and the sphere is actually moving right now. So there is something going on here. So it's not perfect. We definitely need to change something here. All right, and the best way to know what's happening is to select the sphere and look at its data. Now I see the sphere, I see that the gravity scale is 0, and I see that it keeps moving. So there is something that makes it move. It's probably the force. There is actually a force applied to it. So we need to reset the velocity. Okay. or yes, or reset the force. So one way to do this inside of the freeze player sphere is to go here and reset the force. We can do body dot actually the force. Yes, we have the add force, but we have to find a way to do that. But probably the best is to actually freeze it. Okay, one way to freeze it is to access the freeze position X, Y, and Z. So body dot constraints dot so which constraint? I have to see how to do that here. I'm not sure we can actually do that. I hope I can access the constraint, but I don't see that right away. So body dot freeze rotation, yes. So freeze rotation is equal to true. Okay, so that's one. Body dot, let's say there's another freeze. Can I freeze the position? Oh, but I can do, oh, well, so I'll have to deal with that at some point. But anyway, for now, I probably don't want to use that. Let's see what else I could do. I could use the isKinematic to true, and that probably would freeze it as well. So let's try this out. So I'm going to remove that for now. So as you can see, we can try different ways to do that. So body dot isKinematic. Oh, probably the sleeping, right? We can do isSleeping. Can we change that? Let's try body dot sleep. Yep, and we can probably put that body dot sleep. Let's see if that does anything. I'm going to save that. I put this. Oh, I put this in the unfreeze. No, I got to cut this and put this inside of the freeze. All right, and save that. So let's see if the freeze, if the sleep does it. I'm going to press play. And I'm going to press play. Nope. So this doesn't work. So let's go back with isKinematic and see if that does the trick. Right. So body dot isKinematic equal to true. Right. So that should stop it. Let's see. I'm going to press play now. Press play here. Yep. So by adding isKinematic to true, I have the ball that's frozen. Okay. So whenever I press play now, I need to remove the isKinematic. How do I do this? Well, I can just take that and go to the triggers, no, not the trigger, sorry, the player script. And here, inside of the unfreeze, I would remove the isKinematic. Okay, so let's go to the manager references. And whenever we unfreeze, we just put body does isKinematic false. And let's save. So now that we've done that, let's try it out. Going to Unity, going to press play here and play within the game. Right? Now it's not moving. And if I press the button down once, all right, I can actually move the ball. Excellent. Good. So it's working as expected.